I'm Pastor George Borghardt, and this is another Higher Things video short. How to read the scriptures. That's the subject of today's Higher Things video short. You know you should be reading the Bible. You're like, I'm a Christian, and you hate the times that Jeopardy or some other game or trivia crack has a Bible question, and you're like, man, I should know that, and you don't. It's kind of shameful. Or when somebody's arguing with you and they know more about the scriptures than you do and they don't even believe in Jesus. So how do you start reading the scriptures? Well, the Bible is a book composed of books, other books. And, you know, if you start at the beginning of the Bible, most people who start at the beginning of the Bible, they get through Genesis and they're like, this is like NC-17. And they get through Exodus and they get to the laws in Exodus and Leviticus and they're like, I'm done. I don't understand a thing. Well, that's not the way to read the scriptures. The scriptures testify of Christ. And so if you want to start reading the scriptures, if you want to read the Bible, then start with the book of John. Read the Gospel of John. Not 1 John, 2 John, 3 John. No, the Gospel of John. You'll find it in between Luke and Acts. Open that baby up and read John. Read the first 3 chapters of John, or a chapter a day, or however speed you want to go. But read John and look for Jesus. And when you and don't read the scriptures apart from going to church. You want to read the scriptures in the context of going to church. You want to hear that Lamb of God who takes away the sin of the world and go, I sing that. I sing all about that. You want to hear about the wedding at Cana and you want to go, hey, I hear about that at weddings. You want to hear about water and the Spirit in John 3 and Nick at night and Nick coming to Jesus at night. And you want to have that reading in context with what's going on in the church life for you. Looking in the Gospel of John for Jesus and what he does for you and what he says for you and how he is for you. You see, you don't go to the Gospels. You don't go to the scriptures knowing how God is. All right, you know, like I've got a checklist of how God is. God is eternal. He is omnipotent. He's omniscient, and he's ever other omni known to man. And I'm going to check them off and as I go. Or going to the scriptures, knowing how we are. Well, I know I'm mortal, and if you prick me, I bleed. Now, you read the scriptures to learn how God is. This is how God is. He is the Lamb of God who takes away the sin of the world. He is the God who loves us in the giving up of his Son. All right, he is the God who is worshipped not in Jerusalem or Samaria, but in the suffering and death of the Christ. A God who feeds his people, who washes his people in living water. Look at the Gospel of John as your first reading and learn how God is. Also, learn how we are. Don't look and think that you know or have a context of how man is. Read the scriptures and see what they say about men. See what they say about you. And look and see how you are and how he is for you. Read the Gospel of John first. And then after John, go back and catch the Gospel of Luke. And then swing back and read the Gospel of Mark. And then swing back and read the Gospel of Matthew. And now you've worked backwards into the New Testament, but you know everything that is written about what Jesus did for you. And now it's time to take on some of the Pauline epistles and the like, and you'll be picking up some of the things along the way in those Gospels about what Jesus fulfilled. You can get a study Bible, all right? You can get... But the best study Bible in the whole wide world, the best study Bible that you can buy is to run to your pastor when you have a question and say, or text him, I think he might text you, or call him and say, you know what does this mean? Or email him, what does this mean? Why is this here? And see what he says. Because that's your pastor. That's the one the Lord has given to you to be the greatest study Bible that you could possibly have. And he'll direct you to buy, something from CPH or the like, but have that conversation with your pastor. So you're reading the scriptures in the context of the church's liturgy along with your pastor. And then you're on your way. We'll talk more about reading the scriptures next week. I'm Pastor George Borghardt. Happy reading of those Gospels. And this has been another Higher Things video short.